Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sara Naumann, and I'm so excited to share some super versatile dies from our friends at Creative Expressions. So today we're going to play with 5 different dies. First, we have the Circle Sayings dies in 3 styles. We have Hope, Friendship, and Birthday. We also have 2 floral collections. We have the Magnolia Corner and we have Pom-Pom Mums. Now I have 4 card projects to share with you today, and these cards will all use pattern papers from the Swirls Upon Twirls paper pack. Now this has 12 coordinating designs in a 12 by 12 inch size. They're double-sided and have just some beautiful and really stylish swirly patterns. We've also got 1 sheet in here that is all cutouts, which work beautifully as card focals. Of course, you could also use them for your scrapbook pages. I'm also going to be working in some dazzles, both with borders and sentiments, and I couldn't resist, I've got to use some Opal Polish as well. So as you can see, we have a lot to explore today, and I'm so glad that you're here. Come play with us. Let's take a closer look at our Circle Sayings dies. Now in each collection, there are 2 dies. You're getting the outline and you're also getting the sentiment, and one will nest right inside the other, although you don't need to nest them together when you're die cutting them. You can die cut them separately. So when you're die cutting your outline, you're going to have a piece like this, and then of course with your sentiment, you're going to end up with a piece that looks like this. Now you can use the sentiment separately as you wish. You can also simply layer the 2 together like so, and you've got a really nice card focal. This measures about 3.5 inches in diameter, so it's a nice size. Now you've got a couple of other options with this as well. I realized when I die cut this element here that I ended up with this kind of extra piece that I was putting in the recycling bin, but then I realized if you were to die cut another sentiment, you can simply put the 2 together, kind of nest them together like so. See if I can get it. There you go. So you can have them together like this. You could have them just like this, or you can, again, put them onto your background element. And you have, again, another nice twist on that. Now, of course, you can cut these pieces apart and you can cut the words apart. Here I've just got the word friend, and I can use that separately, or, of course, I could do some layering on here as well. So quite a few possibilities. All of the collections will work the same way. And you've also got some project ideas in the packaging too, just for a little bit of additional inspiration. So this is the friendship set. Let's take a look at a card using this die. This card shows the Sweet Friends Circle Saying die along with some of the elements from the Magnolia Corner collection, which we're going to take a look at later. Now, as you can see, I've got the swirls background paper on my card front, and then I've got some layering going on with the dies. Now, to get a perfect match with my die cut flowers and my sentiment and my background paper, I'm using Opal Polish on white and on black cardstock. Now, many of you have seen our other videos on Opal Polish, so this may be a bit of a refresher for some of you. So Opal Polish is a really fabulous medium, and this can be used to give a beautiful iridescent effect on both white and black cardstock, as well as all shades in between. So let's take a look. I'm going to be using the Summer Sky Opal Polish. The other one I'm using is the Golden Glow, and this one you'll see when you see how much left I have in this jar, you'll know that it is one of my favorite colors. Of course, these come in all different colors too, so not just the 2 that I'm showing you today. Now, what's nice about these is you have a little sponge applicator that just sits right in the top lid of the jar. All you need to do is just put that applicator right into this beautiful medium and then simply apply it to your cardstock. So this is the Summer Sky on white cardstock, and you can see that it's got a beautiful iridescence to it as well as that gorgeous color. Now take a look at it on black cardstock. So this is going to give you a completely different effect, kind of a golden glow with a bit of blue iridescence in there as well. It's just absolutely beautiful. And this is all you need to do to apply it. It's really quick and easy. So I'm going to put away my Summer Sky And I'm going to bring in 2 other pieces of cardstock, and we can take a look at the Golden Glow. Now, as I told you, I haven't got very much left in here. This is one of the most versatile mediums I happen to have in my crafting stash, so that's why I'm using it a lot. So again, just get a little bit onto your sponge applicator. Here we go. We've got a beautiful, rich golden color on this white. And then what I can do is just dip this in here and come back and add some onto my black cardstock. So absolutely beautiful. Of course, I can go back and add more color on here as I want to, or just leave it with one application, but I think it just gives you such a beautiful look. Now, one other tip from our friends at Creative Expressions, they do recommend that when you're done for the day with your Opal Polish, that you mist a little bit of water into the medium itself and then also onto the sponge as well. Because this is a water-based medium, it just helps to keep the usability up. It helps to keep it refreshed. So going back to our card, because that Opal Polish dries really quickly, you can then use it for your die cut elements, and that's what I've done on here. So I've die cut the circle saying from white cardstock that I colored with Summer Sky. The Magnolia corner that you see here, this large corner piece, this has been cut from white cardstock colored with Golden Glow. And the dark flowers that you see on here are Summer Sky on black cardstock, layered with Summer Sky on white. So that's going to give me 2 very different colors from one jar of Opal Polish. Now I've also got a border of Summer Sky down here with a Dazzle border sticker on top, a little bit of ribbon, and a couple of accent pieces on here. Now if you look closely, you might notice that I've also edged my card front with Golden Glow, and that handy sponge makes it really easy just to give a really beautiful iridescent border around on the edges of your card. So I know you're probably all curious about this beautiful border and these dies on here. So let's take a closer look at the Magnolia Corner Dies collection. With the Magnolia Corner collection, you're going to have 6 dies in total. So you've got a big, beautiful corner piece on here. And this measures about 4.5 inches here and another 4.5 inches going along this way. It's a perfect size for card focals as well as scrapbook pages too. Now, one thing I really like with all of these smaller elements on here, the flowers and the swirls and the stars, Creative Expressions has been really smart, and they've put these all on separate pieces of metal. So rather than having a tiny die for each of these stars and the flowers, you're able to just run this through your die cutting machine in one go and get all of these elements. It just makes things quicker and easier, and it also really helps if you are like me and sometimes tend to lose some of those smaller dies. Now, of course, you've also got project ideas on the inside of your package here too, so that also helps you with your inspiration. Now, I've got a card that I've created using this collection here, and you can see I've got that Magnolia border just going here in the corner of my card front, and I've popped that up on top of some other pattern paper designs that I've got from our Swirls Upon Twirls collection. This is actually die cut from pattern paper as well, and you can see that I've used some white cardstock on some of those flowers just to accent those pieces on here. Now, I've also cut the hope portion and this background piece from lightly patterned paper. So it's not from a solid piece, but it's from perfectly coordinating lightly patterned paper. So you can still read this quite easily. Now, you'll probably notice I've also got another element going on here, and this is from the Pom-Pom Mums Set. So let me show you this collection quickly. This is a 10-piece collection, and you can see here you've got all of the elements to create a layered 3-dimensional pom-pom mum. You've also got the leaves on here, and I know that at least 1 or 2 of you are probably out there thinking, I could turn this into a Halloween spider in a pinch, and I'm quite sure you could. This, of course, also has some project ideas in here too. So I'm going to come back to the card because as we were talking about the Opal Polish, that's what I've used to create the Pom-Pom Mum on here. So I've got Golden Glow on white cardstock, and that's going to help me create the leaves. So the leaves don't necessarily have to be green. I like to have them as the golden color on here too. And I've got the Summer Sky on white cardstock which I then die cut to create this beautiful layered mum. Now you'll notice that I've also edged the papers, not only the card front, but all of these pattern papers on here with golden glow as well, to create a little bit of space in between all of those beautiful pattern designs. This card also combines the Pom-Pom Mums with the circle sayings. Now these mums are cut from Opal Polish cardstock. I used golden glow on black card to create the leaves that you can see here, and I've used golden glow on white cardstock for the actual flowers. Now the card focal is cut from white cardstock, and that's the words and the sentiment on here. And then I've layered it onto a piece of golden glow on white cardstock. So that's helping to tie all of these elements together. Of course, I've also done some edging around the pattern paper here, as well as the card front with more of that golden glow opal polish. So I think you can see why I'm running so low on that. I'm using it on just about everything. And I also really love adding these little pom-pom mum accent pieces on here too. Now these are golden glow on black cardstock, die cut, and then just glued right on here. And I should say that I'm also using for my flower centers the Lunar Shimmers embellishment pack. And there's a lot in here, but there are these really great little white embellishments, and they just work so perfectly as flower centers. So that's how I'm creating those. And it's helping to tie everything together from the white cardstock to the white embellishments to that beautiful golden glow, and of course our gorgeous pattern paper. I mentioned earlier that you can cut apart the circle sayings, which is what I've done with this really simple card here. So this is what that birthday sentiment looks like when you die cut it. And then if you cut apart the elements just to have the word birthday, it's really easy to pop just right down on the front of your card. You can even make it mix and match with some of your word dazzles as well. So these words come from the card inside and outside greeting dazzle. So you're able to create something that says, "May all your birthday wishes come true." And I love having this mixing and matching of fonts. I think it adds some really nice interest to the front of the card. Now, if you're wondering what the best way is to glue something down that is so intricate, like this fantastic word and this die, well, the glue that I'm using is one that never really leaves my work surface. This is the Cosmic Acrylic Glue. And I love it because it is a fantastic glue. It works really well. It dries clear. You also have this really fine tip nozzle, which just helps to make sure that that glue goes where you want it to and only where you want it to. So very useful when you're working with these intricate dies. Now, as I was playing around with this and cutting apart some of the dies, I thought this might also be fun just to have as half of the sentiment as well. So you can go for the whole thing, half, or cut apart those words, and you can get a lot of really fun variety on here. Now, for the rest of my card, as you can see, I've used that pattern paper for my card front. I've also added in some dazzles, some border dazzles at the top, and then going along the edge here too. My Opal Polish was put to use to create the matting pieces for this border. So I have the summer sky and golden glow, and used golden glow around the outside edges of my card on here too. You're probably also noticing this little layered flower. This is from the Magnolia corner set, so you can see how easy these are to just pop onto a card as a quick and simple accent. Now, I know I said that I had only 4 cards to show you, but I really got going with these supplies and I couldn't stop. So I've got a card in progress, and I thought we could maybe work on this together. So I only had a little piece left of this beautiful pattern paper. So I edged the top and the bottom with that golden glow opal polish. You can see how that comes in handy, and glued it right onto the front of my card here. And then I created a really simple border. This is using a border dazzle onto some purple pattern paper, really lightly patterned paper, and then I matted it onto golden glow white cardstock. So I figure if I just position this on here, of course when I glue it down, then I'll make sure to trim off the top and the bottom on here, but I'll just position it here for now. And I was working with the Hope circle saying, so I die cut that, and then I cut apart to have the word hope. I just think that is so beautiful. So I'm going to pop this down here for now. And then I've got the other portion of that die. So I thought, what if I just kind of tuck this in here, pop this down, and just have the ends of this kind of touching this border on here. And then I could even add in a little piece of ribbon on here, a little bow on there. And I think this would make a fantastic card, really quick and easy. I could also add in some of those lunar shimmers, those embellishments, and maybe just kind of sprinkle a few in this open area here too, if I wanted to, just for another bit of dimension on there. So pretty quick and pretty easy, and I think it's a great way to really maximize the versatility of these dies. I think you're going to find that they are very, very useful. So as you can see, there are a ton of great ways to use the dies, the pattern papers, and the dazzles, and of course, those Opal Polish mediums as well. I am so very glad that you joined me today, and I can hardly wait to see what you create. Thank you so much, and thank you for being a part of the Paper Wishes family. We're just really glad that you're here with us. Do be sure to leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately, and you can see those below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. For that money saver, just see this webisode on paperwishes.com.